There are reports that Joe Biden plans on signing an executive decision telling the Attorney General that the federal government will no longer be using private prisons. Me and the Notification Gang would like to invite everybody to come join us Monday through Thursday, 9:20 to 10 o'clock for morning coffee, where we discuss the events of the prior day and also just talk mess about stuff. See you then.
Oh, Black Dynamite, I wish it was that simple, but this is much bigger than you and me.
Hey, little mama, it may be bigger than you, and it may be bigger than me, but it ain't bigger than you and me. Can you dig it?
BBN Jack Frost. What's up, party people? Alright, so yeah. So apparently the new administration under President Joe Biden has plans on basically not renewing the contracts, the federal contracts for private prisons. Okay. Now, since Donald Trump lost the election and Joe Biden was deemed the successor, and he was going to be, since he was the president-elect, many asked what was he going to do for the black community specifically, me being one of those individuals. And as far as from all of the things that he's done prior to right now, this seems to be the first, in my opinion, actual attempt to alleviate our community, the black community specifically, of certain issues. Now, I want to be clear on something real quick, and that is that by doing this, by deeming that we're not gonna, or that the government, the federal government, is gonna no longer use private prisons, what he's actually doing is really good, because there is a consensus among individuals who are advocates for, you know, not just the black community, but for many communities, but the black community specifically, that often darker complected individuals are basically driven to these prisons by, as somebody will get arrested and it'll be for, you know, over some kind of crime that somebody who is probably Caucasian will probably get, you know, some time served or whatever the case is, and then the black person will get 5 to 10 years or something. There has been allegations and actual investigations also into judges, predominantly in the South, that have been, I'm not going to say paid to give disproportionate prison sentences, but there is, like I said, a consensus belief that if you're black, your prison sentence is going to be disproportionately given out. It's in contrast to somebody who, you know, is not black, or isn't more darkly complected. Now, with that being said, there's a lot that some people, a large contingency of individuals, myself included, believe that Joe Biden needs to do to make things right as far as with that 96 crime bill. I believe it was in 96, but the crime bill, which put a lot of black people in prison, some people in prison for life after being caught for a third time for a felony over a light felony, like some weed on them or something, and now they got to do the rest of their lives in prison because they wanted to smoke a bag of weed to relax and, you know, at the end of their day or whatever the case is. So this is definitely a win. I see this as a positive thing. Do not get this confused. If we want to go into a little bit more detail, it says that there's going to be an executive order that directs the Attorney General to not renew Justice Department contracts with privately operated criminal detention facilities. Now, that basically means that, for everybody that don't know, a lot of these prisons, this is where a lot of your merchandise that you buy from the stores is coming from. They're being made in these prisons, where these prisoners are now not even, they're being paid pennies for the hour. So these individuals are getting their merchandise, or whatever company it might be getting a product made, and they're basically not paying anything to get the product made except for materials. And also, for y'all that don't know, some of you might be calling some of these places in order to get help or assistance, and you don't know you're talking to prisoners. They're on these helplines. So with that being said, this is gonna create a situation where these privately owned prisons, they're not gonna be able to use prisoners, at least federal prisoners, as easy, like slave labor, for lack of a better term. For everybody that don't know, once you're a prisoner, you lose all of your rights as a citizen, and you are basically now a slave. Also, with that being said, that does not mean that states, if you're in jail or you're in prison for a state crime or a crime that was committed not federally, that doesn't mean that you can still go to these prisons, just so we can be clear. It's just that the federal government will now not be using them. They also say that one of the executive orders calls for reestablishing federal respect for tribal sovereignty following years of tension between tribal governments and former President Trump. And also it says Biden also ordered the Department of Health and Human Services to examine how Trump's rhetoric about COVID-19 may have led to discriminate against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. So it does seem like there is an actual event going on in America right now, where we have previously seen the individuals or the demographic that was catered to more than any other was the white American. Let's just be pretty blunt with it. And it seems that this particular administration is now actually taking some concerns in real movement to kind of make that gap between how one demographic is treated, one ethnicity is treated, make that gap a little bit smaller, where we have much more fair treatment, hopefully. So there's been, Joe Biden has gotten a lot of criticism, especially I've criticized them numerous times, but let's see where he's going with this. This is something that's, I can see this is good, and I'm looking at it favorably. So let's see what can go on as far as what else, what other moves they're actually going to be making. Hopefully they can just start closing some of these private prisons, and maybe closing some prisons just in general. Before everybody say, well, if we close the prisons, where are you going to keep the prisoners? For that, I say, I believe that a lot of people are being sent to prison because there's empty beds. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.
Mike Giants.
Oh, Black Dynamite, I wish it was that simple, but this is much bigger than you and me.
Hey, little mama, It may be bigger than you, and it may be bigger than me, but it ain't bigger than you and me. Can you dig it?